There are people who don't see cable news as a business, and it's on cable. And it has ratings. Come on, man. Like, we gonna pull our heads out of our asses at some point. Come on now. Come on now. Come on now. How are you not gonna know that cable news media is a business and that it's for profit? Somebody was saying, Tim Black, this all started with 60 Minutes. Yeah, 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes was so successful, all the other news entities were like, whoa, we can make money off this? Because, see, the news was never about making money. It was about a service. Once upon a time, guys, I know this is crazy, but once upon a time, news reporters and columnists and writers and journalists, they were poor saps with no money. Yeah, they wore old shoes, old hats. Their job was they were like public servants. They were just making enough to do a living. This was a calling to go into the fray and to call out truth to power, to speak truth to power. Once upon a time in America, if you weren't exposing corporations, you weren't doing your damn job. Now we cover for corporations. Now we cover for the government. Before, it was like, if you're not exposing, telling what they don't want you to print, there was a saying. It escapes me. I don't want to butcher it. But it's a very famous saying. Back when I first got interested in journalism, if you're not printing what they want you to print, if you're not printing what the people in power want you to print, no, if you are not printing what they don't want you to print, journalism is printing what people in power don't want you to print. Everything else is public relations. Come on, Johnson. Something like that. That's real close. That's real close, man. Right now, my file cabinet of a brain, little guys running to the back, throwing files around, looking for the saying. Where's it at? Where's it at? I can't find it. I can't find it. Close enough. Does that make any sense nowadays that there would be this axiom, this mission statement? Does it seem to you like Tucker Carlson's living by this? Does it seem like Rachel Maddow's living by this? Does it seem like Don Lemon is living by this? What about Brian Stelter? You think he's living by the axiom that unless you are writing what rich, powerful people don't want you to write, you're just doing public relations for them? You understand what I'm saying? Do you realize when Hillary Clinton was running for office, and I'm only bringing her up as an example, I'm sure you couldn't just say whatever you want to say about Obama either, or about Bush, or about anybody else in power. But this is what I know for sure, because it was exposed in WikiLeaks. Okay? So that's the thing people need to get. See, all these people are very partisan. They're very much on their D or R or whatever. What we found out about Hillary's campaign and what we found out about the inner workings of the DNC, this was not just Hillary. We villainized Hillary, but Hillary, the DNC has been the DNC way before Hillary. The Democratic Party's operations were the operations of the Democratic Party way before Hillary. They will continue to be after Hillary. See, that's just an honest statement. See, people spend way too much time making it all about one person who never was even elected president. But the point is this. Back when Hillary was running, documents surfaced in WikiLeaks that showed that there were writers, columnists, journalists from I don't want to name exact papers. I think New York Times was one of them. I think it was. May have been the Washington Post. I don't remember, but it was that Bob's update on Netscape.net. No, it wasn't. It wasn't a MySpace page. It was a paper of record, meaning one of those well-respected news organizations. And what we found out, there were reporters that were clearing what they were going to write with the campaign, the Hillary Clinton campaign, before they printed it. It's like, oh, don't worry. We're going to send it over we're going to send over a draft, and you guys let us know if this is what you want us to print. You think I'm playing? Come on, Facebook. Facebook, do you realize this was happening? Do you realize this was happening? See, this is why things are very hinky. I'm sorry, I just saw The Fugitive recently with Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. Wesley Snipes, I had to watch that again. It was so great, man. They used the word hinky in it. It just, haven't thought of that word in 20 years. You know what I'm saying? But this is why everything's so hinky, Johnson. Here's the deal. Because they were getting approval to get things printed. They could do, they say, oh, we're going to put this out. We caught her. She said we got her. But no, they were trying to secure jobs, secure themselves. So when people, this is the thing, guys, and this is why people say, Tim Black, why aren't you more places, Johnson? You're interesting. You have a different point of view. You're charismatic, somewhat. I'm not trying to give myself self-love. Not trying to you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, people say, Tim Black, you've been doing this. You interviewed Donna Bazile and Tim Canova and, these people, these politicians and these film directors, Michael Moore, Bill Duke. You did these things. You did those. What's wrong? I said I got a big mouth, Johnson. I like telling the truth. My version of it anyway. And I'm going to say this, for instance. People don't want to tell the truth about why people like Trump. I'm going to tell you part of the reason why a lot of people like Trump is they know some of the stuff I'm talking about now, and they know a lot of that shit did not work for Trump. No one was checking with Trump before they published an article. Get what I'm saying? Like, no, there are no leaked documents that even suggest, no one even fathoms that the same levers of news media were moving in unison to support Trump. Yeah, you got like OAN, The Blaze, Fox News. Come on, man. Other than Fox, come on, Johnson. But you got Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, the black dude that wore the hat. The guy on Fox News like this. Hey, I like this for weight. So, I'm a dumb son of a bitch, but I live with you. Blah, blah, blah. Whatever the guy's name is. Bonadino, Bono, Budo, Bono or some shit. I don't know. It's a black dude. Sorry, guys. Too much truth is coming out my mouth right now. Too much truth comes out then, promise. Point is this. Some people are very much aware. They understand what I'm talking about. They know about some of it. And they know, as bad as Trump is, as bad as he will ever be, as much of an asshole he is, all the braggadocio, all the lying on the fly, all this stuff he's done, they know that the other presidents had more help being deceptive. It's just facts. Look what they've done to George Bush's legacy. They have cleaned it up, sprayed Prado on it, gave it a detailing, took it to the best detailers. Look at it. He's on Ellen. This guy dropped bombs unnecessarily and killed 1 million Iraqis for bombing a trade center that they had nothing to do with. Everywhere else on the globe, besides a lot of places, he's considered a war criminal. He's responsible for multiple deaths. He lied to Congress. Him and Colin Powell, All of them. They lied and said it was weapons of mass destruction. We got to go in. 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 And now he's all sanitized. Like he's a good guy, you know? He's Michelle Obama just hanging out with him and shit. He's painting pictures. Now he's got a second life of doing horrible paintings. I mean, come on, like, so back to my point, somehow let me try to tie this together. Don't be a fool all your life. You can't trust news, man. That's why this is the home of the place for people who can't stand the news, because they realize that it's a fucking charade. It's a game. It's smoke and mirrors. It's lies. It's deception. It's trickery. Not all of it, but so much of it that it's so deceptive, that it's so misleading. You know, and if you are disliking your neighbor, or if you're constantly beefing with people on Twitter, or Facebook, or TikTok, or YouTube, or LinkedIn, or wherever you are, Instagram. If you're on Instagram going ham about someone's words, realize they probably watch a different news source than you that tells them something totally opposite. And then they present made-up facts or instances or one-offs or whatever to sustain that. Meanwhile, you think that they are the devil. But you don't realize that what you're watching, they're not watching. That the story they're getting is totally different than the story that you're getting. So, and then realize that was all done for money. Realize that it's all done for money. It's like someone's got to sell pizza, someone's got to sell cheeseburgers. It's like it's all dinner, it's all fast food, but they got to have different brands and different. There was no difference. They are competing against what? CBS is competing against ABC. ABC is competing against NBC. NBC is competing against Fox. Fox is competing against CNN. CNN is competing against the BBC. The BBC is competing against, and then on and on. It is just like a retail environment. It's just like the supermarket. And then it's owned by just a handful of entities. Own all 90% of our media is owned by seven companies. Last time I checked, I think it was 7. And you can thank Bill Clinton for that. Because once upon a time, that was not allowed. So all I'm saying is, it breaks my heart, Johnson, when people are so delusional. They believe whatever they hear on cable news media. They don't question it. They don't do any research. They just go with it, and then they go out there and attack. They attack people. They literally attack their brothers and sisters, their cousins, their aunts. They haven't spoke to their brother, their uncle, their sister. They're on top of their mama. Not because mama pushed them down a flight of stairs, or the cousin wrecked their car, or tried to sleep with their wife, or slept with their husband, or something, or killed the dog, but because they watch a different news source than the other one, and they're not getting told the same lies that you're being told. So, I'm coming in hot. Coming in hot. I'm coming in hot. That's what we're doing, Johnson. This is what we're doing. So the people that tune into this show, this is why, I know it's not showing right now. We got 100 people. And that breaks my heart too. I know I'm telling more truth than 95% of what you're going to hear on cable news, but this is not a meritocracy. This is not about who's better, who has more heart, more ethics, who's more on the level, who's not on the tank. That's not who wins. That's not who wins. That has nothing to do with anything. I had to accept that. That you could, like if you have to love someone, you love them. Oh, you love the shit out of them. You loved everything. You even love their farts. You're like, oh, that's my baby's farts, though. It stinks, but that's my baby's farts. Drink more milk, baby, but I love you. But yeah, you get to a point, you sacrifice, you do this, you do that, and you get this dumb feeling in your head that you earned their love in return. But that ain't how it works. She goes with somebody else and leaves you hung out to dry. That's right, she gets with somebody else. So if you're a woman, same thing. You gave them your change purse, a little extra special attention. You cut off other people that you were seeing to be with them. You treated them nice. You cooked them a sandwich. You made them a good sandwich, a good sandwich. Your last man liked it. And what'd they do? There is no rules that they gotta stick with you. There's no rules they gotta even appreciate it. What I'm telling you is that's how this whole thing works. We're being lied to. We're being lied to all the time by the media. And if it's not a lie, they're leaving out stuff. Stuff that's maybe going to fuzzy up the narrative that they want to project. And they've got sponsors and advertisers. And they got bosses. They got corporate directions. Right now, CNN hired a new CEO, and he told, look, Axios reported this. That's another thing, the fake leak. Oh, God. How'd they get this information? Right? So, look, here. So, right now, Axios is reporting that CNN, the new CEO, this guy used to work for CBS. And he wants to revamp CNN and how it does its business, how it does its news. And as CEO, he's going to let some people go if they don't adjust the tenor of their news broadcasting. He says it's too liberal. It's too partisan. He wants it to be more, attractive to the Trumpers and the rest of the world, like more middle of the road. It said that CNN has gone too left. So Bryans, Stelter, and there's a couple anchors that were named, Bryans, Stelter, and Acosta, they're named. They're going to get some time to become more to the right, more center. And if not, they're going to be gone, Johnson, because that's the way this works. They have bosses to answer to, and if they don't adjust, they will be gone. Because CNN has decided for business purposes, it wants to occupy more of a center, more of a right wing, because they're already centrist, in my opinion. They want to occupy more of a right stance. They got to be able to compete with Fox News. And the polarization of the two sides, Trump and everything else, is too much. It's like, and if you think about it, it makes sense. Right now, Fox gets everybody that supports Trump and everything on the right. And then everybody that's in the center, or not on the right, all the way on the right, fights over everybody else. So you got Fox and, a couple stragglers, the Blaze, a couple places. And then you got all these others fighting over you. if you're a liberal, whatever you are. So I guess CNN decided it's time to stop eating its own tail. But my point of saying all of that was to say that this is a business and you can readjust your messaging, readjust the narrative. So what are they going to do? They're going to start telling stories from a more right-wing perspective. So what were they doing before? Telling stories, telling narratives, spinning narratives, reporting from a different perspective that was not right-wing. Meaning this is choice. Meaning it's an editorial choice. It's not just about truth. It's about how the truth is presented. Yeah, I can say somebody punched I saw a man punch a man in the mouth, but if I leave out that man was hit first before he punched that guy in the mouth, that changes the story, doesn't it? If I leave out that he was punched in the mouth while holding a gun, that's a whole different thing, isn't it? That's how news works. It's all about what you leave out. You ain't got to lie. You can just leave shit out. It's called a lie by omission. And then if you go to court like Rachel Maddow or who was it, Sean Hannity, somebody went to court and were getting sued and they were like, hey, well, hey, what, sue me for lying? No. This is entertainment, Johnson. And they won the case. Because what they're doing isn't even considered news, it's considered entertainment. They're personalities, not journalists. So once upon a time, when journalists and writers, commentators, columnists were paid measly money, measly amounts of money, ended up being alcoholics, drunk at bars. You've seen the movies. Now they're like Matt Lauer, $7 million. Rachel Maddow, multiple millions of dollars. Don Lemon, multiple million. And I'm not just picking on them. It's a big club and you ain't in it. For God's sake, wake up.